Good afternoon, City of Lathrop. I am your host, Raj Singh. I am here today with a candidate running for Lathrop City for a council seat for an election November 3rd, 2020. And I have my co-host Gritesh Atwal with me. And as you can see on the screen, there are two Raj. I'm Raj Singh, and the candidate is Raj Nagra. And I would like Gritesh to give a brief introduction about the candidate running for Lathrop City Council's election. Gritesh, please go ahead.
Thank you, Raj, and thank you, Raj Nagra, for coming here and willing to share your vision, your scope, as well as what issues you are seeing. So, about Raj Nagra, he is an engineer by education and an entrepreneur for many years, and working on diverse things in the around him to uplift the community as well as uplift and mentor the younger generation. Now, I'll request Raj Nagra to please share some more about him.
Thank you, Gurtej and Raj, and bringing me on to Six of Tracy. Um, well, I came down to US in '97, and as a mechanical engineer when I was in Bay Area, I was looking for my jobs, so I had to go back to college and improve my skill sets. So I went to Dianza and then went on to software. So I was hired with Applied Materials. Then from Applied Materials, I went out to EDS as a project manager. So held some projects with the development team and then the core QA team, and did some lot of work over there. So way back in 2005, then I got hired with Net Project. So we were the first in 2005. President Bush, he signed up a bill where you can electronically cash the check. So we developed the whole software, starting from 8 people to almost a company of 140 people. And so it was a whole new project. And while doing so, there was a lot of things which we faced. Like we had good clients, we had not a good clients. And then by 2012, same thing happened. They came and said, okay, now we have to send all these projects to develop to India. So those people are going to support from India. And then I thought, like, what can I do? Kind of stuff. So I moved to Seattle and started a educational training institute where we could train people, and literally we trained almost 3,000 people in commercial driving. I was marketing for it, and then got that thing working down for us. So right now, again in Stockton, I'm setting up all this project, and we have teamed up with another company that's called Free World, which they take in some inmates who are coming out in the on probation or something. We're setting them up, we're getting them training, getting them jobs, and with all these things going on, so we are moving forward, engaging some more people where we could get them some good training and get them started with the jobs. In Lathrop, I've been here now 3, 4 years. I have 2 kids. My daughter goes to UC San Diego. My son he's doing BS engineering in Sacramento State. And my wife, she commutes all the way to Dublin for job. And so this is what we have in Lathrop. So that's what I'm here for now.
Thank you, Mr. Nagra, for highlighting and sharing your introduction, your life, and how when you came to this wonderful country and you went to Dianza. You lived in Bay Area, and something to share between you and me. I lived in San Jose for 12 years. I went to San Jose State. I'm a San Jose State graduate. Yeah. So it's wonderful to see how many people are actually coming to Central Valley to make this their hometown. It's a beautiful county, San Joaquin County, and there's a lot. Obviously, that being said, there's a lot of parts we need to keep improving, but the improvement gonna come with intellectual personalities, the educated people, and they are stepping into it. So now, as we are having our today's show's name, Straight Talk with a council member running for Lathrop City Council. So I'm gonna get straight with you to know what made you decide, first of all, to run for a public office?
See, Lathrop, living in Lathrop, we in Lathrop feel that there is no straight communication. There's no straight exchange between the public, the residents, and the city council. Once the city council is done, they we are not there's no engagement. There's no city council member coming out to the residents asking them what are your problems, what do you want us to do for you. That's one big thing which needs to be addressed here. Secondly, when you go out there, uh, Lathrop is growing now. Lathrop, like every year, we got at least 1,000 permits for houses, 1,000 permits for houses. So all these people from Bay Area, they are moving down to this place over here. And when they are going out, they are again going out to Bay Area for their jobs. So there was something which brought me thinking like why this is happening. I need to get into the council. Let's get into the council. Let's bring these new ideas. Let's bring these new changes. That for the change, I want to go to the city council to get these things done, so that these things are addressed. If they are not addressed, by the time another 5 years or another 10 years, we will have almost double the population. San Joaquin County is projected to double in population in 10 years. So we need to work on this. We'll be another Bay Area by 10 years. If you see by population, there's no growth in this place. This is still considered agricultural society, but there's no agricultural land here now. In Lathrop, we don't, I see one element park. That's what it is. But there's no agriculture. Then we have to have these people move from agriculture mindset to technology, to medical field, to warehousing, to industrial jobs, so that people can go and get some jobs. That's what we are trying to do over here. So for this, I'm just going ahead to the city council to get something done over there.
So my takeaway from your answer to my question, what made you decide is that you're keeping your top priorities, making sure transparency is there between the governmental body and the residents of Lathrop, and bringing new ideas and innovation, and focusing on the jobs. So people, they're commuting and they are making this a hometown. They have something to work with for, especially like you said, you have something in your own family. Your wife commutes to Dublin,
Yeah.
and it's a matter of a quality of life. How do you bring that in your town? So those are really overall great ideas, and I think I believe all the people that are running for Lathrop, they all care about the Lathrop city, and they're all probably focusing on this. But to kind of make it more clear, understand when you talk about that the council is not being transparent, people, they don't know what the issues are in the town. If you get elected, what kind of transparency and how will you bring that? Can you lighten us on that?
Okay. See, if I am there in the office, right, I need to see I need to see a plan. Like, okay, we need to plan for, let's say, for jobs. So I want some jobs to be done. So we need this year, being COVID-19, we had some difficulties with small scale industry. We had difficulties with stores. So in Lathrop, when we go move around, there are some stores which were there, they're shut down. Restaurants have shut down. There are bars who are shut down. So first of all, we need to work with these people to bring them back. So that these spots which are lying vacant, they could be occupied again. Next is small scale industry. So with small scale industry, we need to get industry supporting the large. So if we get a large scale industry, but we don't have the supporting industry down here, then there will be a problem too. So the large scale industry will not get their resources, and slowly they'll find a way to move out. Then move on to the large scale industry. If we build a plan, a infrastructure, we build them, we assign an infrastructure, we have some buildings, we give them some uh, benefit in taxes, benefit in resources, they will come and work over here. But I had a plan, I had a talk with the city manager, Steve Salvatore. And he was agreeing to this, like, we need to get these people over here. Recently, he gave me an example of they opened up a warehouse for Wayfair. So they worked it. They worked it in like 9, 10 months. That warehouse was working. They are now building another plant. But Lathrop cannot have warehouses by itself. If I go there and I build warehouses, then in a warehouse, how many people are going to work? Maybe 200, maybe 250. But we have a population which is again migrating back to Bay Area. I have my son, I have my daughter. They are going to college. They are getting a degree in engineering. They're getting a degree in biosciences. But where is the job? They will go back again. They may stay there where they are studying. They will go back to Bay Area. So we need to get them something which can work over here. It's not Lathrop alone. It should be with Tracy also doing it. With uh, you had a council member coming up in Ripon. They should also do it. Stockton should do it. But we as a Lathrop is a central. Uh, we have a central destination. You could in a Lathrop you could go Sacramento 60 miles, Bay Area 60 miles. We are sitting in a major spot. So we can do it, but we need to go build infrastructure for them. We need to go uh, get the small scale industry for them. We can then go and meet out the people so that they come. So we almost, if you see Lathrop, I would say 30% of the Lathrop is now getting engineered, not forklift workers. They are not forklift workers now. 30%. They are not ready for their $15, $20 job. They want a bigger job. Like they want something bigger than like 50, 60 $1,000. So we need to get them all these things over there. So I will try to break up a plan, get the infrastructure in place, and then move forward to see what industries we can get over here.
That's wonderful. And something to follow up on that too. You talked about the infrastructure, and other part, you have an engineering technical background. You talked about the new ideas, innovation. So that being said, this is something came to me yesterday. I was talking to a few friends that live in Lathrop and a couple families too. So they were having trouble talking to me on the phone while they were driving back to their house. They're like, "Oh, we do not have a good network in
Mhm.
Lathrop."
Yeah.
So something about that, like you said, you need to actually know from your residents what kind of challenges and problems they are facing. So they're buying the new brand new houses where they're living, and they're like, hey, there's no good network. I need to be in my house connected to the internet in order
Yeah.
to talk to you if you want to hear me nicely. So what kind of plan, or how do you foresee being elected official, that what kind of things you would be trying to bring to close that gap?
Yeah. See, yeah, you're right. The network is an issue. That's for sure, right? When I was talking to Steve, there was some training going on, and his Wi-Fi was so bad. I said, "Hey, this is something you need to work on. Your network is not supporting you. It's crumbling. Like, why don't we get? I spoke to a student. Now it's all online courses. Like you have to have a network. He says, I cannot get the network. I have to go to Starbucks, and
Mm-hmm.
even if they say, oh, it is closed, go away from there. I cannot do anything. So I was talking to Steve, like what we have here is we literally depend upon Comcast, right? Same thing. So what best can we do to get another company, or what best can we do to ask Comcast to improve the network over here? For industry, I will tell you, in Lathrop, in Stockton, the industry is not ready to come literally because of this infrastructure. Because first of all is the communication. This communication for them to operate over here, that is not there. We need, if they want to come here, the first question will be, we don't get a good internet. We cannot do this, right? So when I was talking to Steve, he says, yeah, this is a problem. We need to work on it. But then he came down to more about the rooftops. So we don't have then that many rooftops for the community, for the companies to come and improve it. So they are always asking us, hey, we can do up to this much. We cannot go more than that unless there is a substantial rooftop involved. So then keeping that in mind, if if it can be put forward, introducing another company, give a competition to Comcast. Like let's say, let's go to AT&T. AT&T was serving this thing; they have gone out, so there's no AT&T right now over here. So let's bring AT&T. Let's bring. There could be some other uh, network people. They want to come down over here. Let's talk to them and get them over here. I don't know. They will agree to this or they won't agree to this. What will be their challenges? We have to work with them unless otherwise we are going to stick to the same issue. So we have to work with these companies. We have to work with these companies to get them what they need to improve the communications all over in Lathrop. And meanwhile, in Lathrop, it will go down to Mintique also. It will go down to uh, Stockton also. If required, we have to work with. If they want rooftops, we may have to work with Mentica. We have to ask them, okay, you can come and join us. We can develop the whole thing. So it has to work in conjunction with all these companies. If not, then probably your friend was asking you, I don't get good communication. We may have to stay another 2, 3, 4, 5 years till they get the rooftops over here.
Yeah, no, you're
Thank
not.
you so much for addressing on this issue. And Kritesh, I promise I'm stopping my questions here. I'm handing over to you
Yeah,
to
no,
keep us going forward.
yeah, supplementing that, yeah, you're right. The communication, open communication should be there. That's how the company should be incentivized, or a message should be sent to the other competitors that there is a need. Unless somebody will tell them, they will not going to come, especially in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Their focus is in the big cities. So as you touched about the COVID aspect, so how it's impacting the small business, and you are also a small business owner. So in current situation, unemployment and very much impact on the small businesses. So how do you see the future in that aspect? So what is city council, what is city administration can do to support the small businesses in the future?
Yeah, see, Lathrop, they had a small business. They were grants. They were doing on the Lathrop side. They were doing a $3,000 grant to the small business. So you fill up an application, you get $3,000. Uh, but if we need to go more than that, we cannot say, okay, $3,000 done. That's what we could help. No, when we are getting a business, number one, we have to help them in their permits. We cannot say, okay, here's your initial permit, go start building, and then we keep on transitioning from there, and it takes about 1 year, 1.5 year to get the permits. No, this whole thing has to stop. If a person has been told do this, and they come back and say, okay, do an inspection, give me a permit, we need to go and get back to it as soon as possible. There have been incidents in Lathrop where people have not been provided permits. They were provided permits. It took them 1.5 year to get a permit, and then once they got the permit, the COVID-19 started. And if it's a small business, that guy is also spending money. He does not have tons of money. Like if it's a large business, they have some money set aside. They can even wait for the permits and all. Small business guy, he does not have that much money sitting in his pocket, wherein you can take your time for the permits. I will be okay with it. No, we have to support them to get these things as soon as possible. We need to go back and tell him, hey, this is done. Okay, go do this thing. Go do this thing. We need to guide a small business guy and help them. If they are not doing this, and I know some instances they have not done it, small business will say, I cannot survive in Lathrop. Let me
Mhm.
go to Stockton. Let me go to Tracy. Then again, we are on the ground. We are looking for a small business. We are looking for some facilities which we will not get in Lathrop. So we have to improve on that. Secondly, when the small business comes over here, we need to support them. We need to advertise. We need to do whatever to get them started. Once they get started, they will develop their own business. They will tell people, they will offer the people. And once that is done, it should be good enough for other businesses to take care of that. That's very important over here.
Yeah, no, thank you for touching that. Yeah, so there should be more communication, more proactiveness from the government side to support the needy ones in this dire situation.
Yeah.
So as job opportunities you mentioned, yeah, it will take gradual steps, small steps from small scale to big scale, bringing the job opportunities. But no, then as you feel that personally also, the transportation wise, if somebody has to travel to Bay Area, so approximately 100,000 people they travel on daily basis across the Altamont Pass from the Central Valley.
Yeah.
There's a Valley Link train that public transportation is in thoughts too, and there are other opinions too. So, what are your take on that? How that can be approached in the meantime till we get the jobs here?
Okay. See, getting onto the road, I personally say if I have to get onto the road, it's something which I hate. Like if I have to travel, I can go 30 miles. That's the maximum. If I have to go for a job, if I go for a job, I'll get a job somewhere in San Mateo or something. That's beyond me. I cannot get into that place. For us also, once we pass Tracy, there's the hill. So if there's something wrong in the hill, we do have no way out. We don't have no exits. We don't have nothing. So we are stuck in that hill. So, and then the Valley Ring rail, they came out from Lathrop going down to the BART station. It's a good project. At it should happen as soon as possible. Now it was what you call approved in 2018. The committee happened last 2 years. We are working on it. We are getting the environmental report, but it's still not there. It was supposed to be there in fall, but it's not there yet. So if and then it's sure, like once the fall comes back, there will be impact of COVID-19. It'll go to the next year. If this thing is not prioritized, if it is not worked on priority, this whole it's a $1 billion project. It's a, for sure. I talked to Steve. He said we are coming up with it's a $1 billion project, and but if we do not put time in factor, if we do not work with time, that 1 billion will go to 2 billion. That's for sure. Apart from that, the people who are going to take this train, they will have to suffer on the roads. Today, it could be 1 hour to Dublin, where the train will take 45 minutes, but it will be peaceful and getting less people off on the road. It will, that 1 hour taken on the road, by another 2 years or 3 years, it'll be 1.5 hours because more people coming here, more people getting back on the road. So we need to get this thing done so that it eases out the pressure on the road. Again, if we if this thing and this, if you look at this project, if it starts from Lathrop, Tracy, it's all done. We have the H train running up to Tracy to Fremont. That Tracy, we don't have to. The only thing is between Tracy to Livermore. That's where the hill is, where they have to go and look into it. Literally saying, I don't see it as a problem in going and doing the environment study, going where the station will be, where it is not. So I feel they should speed up the process, and I will, if I am on the commission, I will try to see what best we can do to get this done as soon as possible. Number one. Number two, not many people know about this project. That's another thing.
Right,
If someone is telling you, we are coming up with the train. Oh yeah, we are coming up with the train. When is this coming? Right?
right,
You should be able to tell the people this project is in line. Then the people will ask you, what are you doing? How fast you are doing? That's where your responsibility is questioned now. You're accountable for that. You're not telling nobody. There's a meeting October 14th. I am reading it. I know it. But how many people are reading it? How many people know it? They're not known. So you should tell them so that your accountability is also sustained. Like, okay, these guys are doing a good project, or these guys are not doing the project. people will give their comments. What should they do? There could be intellectual over here. He has worked in that field. He may come up with an idea. "Yeah, this is what you have to do. This is what you can do." But I literally the council members, mayor, anything, they are not experienced. They are there for their judgment, they are there for their voice. But the people who have worked in this field, they know what should be done. But if this thing is not told to them, this is not projected to them, no one is going to give the feedback. There's a meeting on October 14th, right? They will have a meeting, they will bring some points, they will do agenda of the meeting, this thing, and that's it. Then the next meeting will come. But if someone has told, okay, these things have to be taken care of, let's take care of these things will move faster. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah, no, transparency and accountability, that's the
It
key.
has to be there.
Yeah, so that will drive the interest from the citizens. They will start asking the questions, and that's how the things will get done.
Yeah.
So now I'll take it back to Raj to continue us further into a discussion.
Thank you, Gurtej, and thank you, Raj, for highlighting on such imperative points. They are not only important just only for Lathrop, but overall for our county as well. So something to kind of get away from now, jobs and innovation. There's another aspect when you're running for a public office, it's for the public safety. So what's your vision on the public safety?
As the Lathrop is again growing, and for now we're getting more people over here, and everyone is looking for public safety. Like my safety is my concern, right? So now we are getting up a police department. The building is in, like I say, like 60% or 70% is building is ready. That's good. Uh, so we were on a contract with the San Joaquin County Sheriff Department. So we we are spending a lot of money on public safety. So that's good. We can continue with that, but we need to get those people uh, trained. We need to get our people trained. We need to staff the police department. So we need to get more people to do the job. Next is fire. We have uh, two stations right now commissioned. One is up in Mossdale area. One is back in River Island. There are people over there who are responding to our fire needs. But again, on the east side, we are left behind. So we don't have any fire station over this side. Uh, I don't think so. I don't know whether we may have it in plan in couple of years to get, because the industry is coming up onto the east side. So we may have something in plan. If not, we will have to look into that. So we get another fire station, then that should cover the Lathrop area. Uh, Public safety for police, Lathrop is, uh, there's another problem which it's not affected Lathrop as much, but it has offshore affected Manteca, and it's always been a problem in Stockton. That's homelessness. So we want to control that. We want to see that we don't get people in Lathrop. Uh, if we get it, we need to have an address, like how do we take care of them? How do we get them to there? If we don't have a plan and these people come into Lathrop and they set up their camps and pitch their tents over there, then the whole thing will go upside down. Like we won't be able to take care of them. So this is important. Like we need to see that public safety is always a challenge, always needed, and always a priority with Lathrop. That's what it is.
Thank you so much, Raj, for giving your time this afternoon. And it was it was honor for us and our pleasure to talk to you. And we wish you a good luck and go march forward. Thank you so much.